So can I just say this? I always take my wife flowers, always give my wife flowers, always kiss her
because you're white.
When I'm going, bring off. And always tell her how much I love her. Is that me being a bit racist?
Telling your wife that you love her is absolutely what you need to do to keep your wife your wife.
I don't need to say it to keep my wife my wife. You're talking rubbish, aren't you? I mean, it's very entertaining rubbish. But as a professor, you're a complete and utter waste of flipping space.
Oh man, he said it. Sometimes you think you've seen it all until another video pops up on YouTube and you're like, surely not. Then you click on it and someone is actually saying it with their whole chest, believing it, believing something like romance. Just romance, being romantic. But we're going to get into it. It's white supremacy. So people shouldn't be romantic anymore. Let's get straight into it.
But apparently romance promotes white supremacy. According to a black studies professor at the University of California.
So she's a professor.
Sabrina Springs, and she joins us now. Sabrina, good evening to you. Don't black people have romance?
Not frequently, especially not in the United States. But we have to understand where romance came from. As you may know, being that you're in Europe, or at least
I am. Yeah. We're not part of Europe. We are a sovereign nation.
Fair enough, but being on the continent.
Yeah.
Okay, how about that?
Well, we have a moat around us. We're not on the continent, but okay.
It's not very useful.
Fair enough.
As a professor, you should know that.
Proximity, you're within 2 hours of France, which is where romance began. And we should not be surprised.
Half an hour of France.
Cultural affectation that began in medieval France.
You see James Well, the one on the left, he doesn't even want to give her a statistic. He doesn't want her to even get a statistic right. He's like, nope, we're not on the continent. Nope, we're a sovereign nation. 2 hours? We're like half an hour from France. You can see that this interview is going to go left very quickly. But anyway, let's watch.
It began in France.
History says it began in France. Do you know about the origin of romance?
No, I mean, animals have romance. You know, swans are made for life. They have romance.
You would be confusing sexual intrigue and partnership.
No, it's romance. Otherwise, sex had to be awful doing all the other swans.
Just a minute. Can we let her speak? Sorry about this, Sabrina. If you talk again, I will sack you. I'm
swans are not romantic. Let's go from there.
Sabrina, I'm so sorry. So yes, if you could explain the history of romance and why it is, apparently according to you, old white cultural institution.
Yeah, so it began in France in the 12th century, and it was an affectation of elite Western Christian Europeans. Now, many people in your audience may be aware that the term race, the way that we use it today, actually cropped up in the 17th century. But the way in which people described the person who was supposed to be the subject of the very first romance, that being the fictional Guinevere, is that she had pale skin and long blonde hair and blue eyes, and she was thin. So now these characteristics made it work.
Look at their face, honestly. They're just so over this. Like, they're so unimpressed, honestly. Like, where is she going with all of this? This history lesson of romance. I need to find out where she's going with this, honestly, because I cannot understand where she could possibly end up and be on the right path, because the black community in America have so many other issues to worry about other than the origin of romance and how romance promotes white supremacy. Oh man, anyway, let's carry this one.
These characteristics were important to the evaluation of her as someone worthy to pursue. That and the fact that she was purportedly a queen. So the very idea of romance is that elite women, Christian Europeans, who today would be under the category of white, are those who are worthy of pursuit and love.
Okay, so if you're going to have to explain this to me, because I am obviously hampered by whiteness, white privilege. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got a lot of it. It's difficult to get rid of. But do people with a black skin never fall in love with somebody, or is it all just about shagging?
Falling in love and romance aren't the same thing. You can fall in love with anyone at any time and there are no rules, but romance is a cultural institution with rules. We all know what men who are romantic are supposed to do. They're supposed to be buying flowers and buying dinners and giving candy.
But that's love as well. What's the difference between romance and love?
So can I just say this? I always take my wife flowers, always give my wife flowers, always kiss her
Because you're white.
when I'm going, frig off. And always tell her how much I love her. Is that me being a bit racist?
Telling your wife that you love her is absolutely what you need to do to keep your wife your wife.
I don't need to say it to keep my wife my wife. You're talking rubbish, aren't you? I mean, it's very entertaining rubbish. But as a professor, you're a complete and utter waste of flipping space.
Oh man, he said it.
Well, I mean, people might say that about this show because you haven't even listened to it.
We've given you a long time to do it. Yeah, don't have a go at me. You will never win. Okay, you will come out looking really stupid. So, let's talk about your love. Let's talk about your relationship.
So just very quick, she said something very interesting. She said romance is about buying flowers, etc. You know, treating a woman like a lady. This is good romance and romantic gestures. And what I'd say again is this is a conversation that she needs to have with the Black community. Why don't Black men in America behave in such a way? You know, let's investigate. Let's start looking at, you know, the destruction and the crumbling of the Black family, which we see now in America and even around the world, but more specifically in America. We see the destruction of the Black family, and it has a lot to do with wokeism, liberalism, has a lot to do with rap music, has a lot to do with toxic culture, has a lot to do with all these different factors surrounding the Black day-to-day life. And this is what she needs to be having a go at. These are the kind of conversations she needs to be having with the Black community. But of course, it's always easier to just blame white supremacy. Why aren't Black men in America, you know, treating or being romantic with women, other Black women in America? Let me not confront the issue, which is Black men and the destruction of the Black family, but let me just look at France back in the day, a few hundreds of years ago, and let me just satisfy myself and read and see that romance was just meant for white women. It was never meant for Black women. And this again goes into the victimization, the self-victimization in the mind of the Black community. You know, you have to eliminate yourself and free yourself from self-victimization so that you can be honest with yourself. You can have real conversations with the relevant people you're meant to have it with. In this case, it's the Black community. It has nothing to do with white people, you know, romance. And her going into terminology, seeing where romance came, where it derived from, this and that, it's not helping. This isn't doing anything to enhance and uplift the Black community. You need to be having these kind of conversations in the Black community in America in regards to rap music, in regards to toxic culture, in regards to the destruction of the Black family, in regards to, you know, certain policies. These are the kind of conversations you need to be having in the States.
So where are you at the moment?
I'm a person who enjoys an ace lifestyle. So ace, for people who are unfamiliar, are people who choose to live in an asexual way. And for me, it makes me very happy.
So sex you don't like. It's nothing to do with love or romance. It's just you don't like sex.
No, that's not the way that aceness works.
Okay.
People can enjoy sex. People can enjoy falling in love, but they might just choose to be by themselves. Yeah. For some people, it makes us happy. Okay. But the problem with trying to...
So why would you think you could comment... Hang on. Why would you have criticised me?
People who are Black.
Oh, it's what you're talking rubbish. I've talked to a couple.
What about Beyonce and Jay-Z, a very famous couple, Beyonce, Jay-Z? They have a romantic. The Obamas, very romantic.
Yeah, right. That's interesting.
No, they have a relationship. We don't know that they would call it a romance because
he's romantic. You can tell President Obama was very. They kissed when he saw him.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of curious because you know anything about the statistics of marriage and dating in the United States?
Because yeah, but you're a broken nation, the United States. I mean, come on. You're a broken nation.
In your country, I just saw that less than 50% of people are married now.
Marriage is different to romance. Marriage is a different
well, okay. Well, I'm glad that we're getting there because love is different from romance as well. So we're not talking about people not having love.
Have you ever had a romance?
Romance.
Have you ever had a romance?
I don't know. That's a hard question for me to answer.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah, but those are not the same thing.
But didn't he want to bring you flowers, and didn't you like flowers?
No, no one will bring me flowers. I'm a Black woman. People expect me to be available.
That is the most racist bloody thing I've heard for a long time. You should be ashamed of yourself. and apologise.
No, I think
You
that
don't get
maybe-
men bringing you flowers because you're a black woman. Are you just?
Yeah,
Are you
I
just?
read my book at all.
Are you really just trying to?
This is self-victimization again. You know, I'm a black woman, you know, no one can be romantic to me, etc. Self-victimization at its finest.
Broaden the distance between white and black, aren't you?
Having to go to a romantic cultural institution. And that problem is ongoing today in this country and around the world. Black women,
I'm sorry, you're talking rubbish now. You're talking rubbish. You're talking rubbish.
Show them respect and love after slavery.
Oh.
Because slavery,
Stupid, silly woman. I'm sorry. Go. Go. Don't look at the bloody producer when I tell you to go. Go.
All right, cool. Let's just evaluate it real quick. At the end, it all came out. She basically said that black women, no one shows. The whole video is just a mess. But you know, at the end, she basically said it. She said that no one shows black women respect, etc. And again, these are not conversations for some romance terminology that you've researched in a library that happened a few hundred years ago. No. That's the complete wrong. This is the wrong way to address this topic. She should have addressed it with the community, the Black American community in America. Address it with them, see where the destruction of the black household has come. I've said it many times, the destruction of the black household in America. I've said it. Abortion is through the roof. Almost 1,000 black babies dead in the womb a day. A day. 1,000. Then you've got the gangster rap music. Then you've got after the gangster rap music, the toxic culture. Then you've got the sexy reds. Then you've got, it's just one thing after the other, you know, the black community. And instead of her to sit down with some locals and try and, you know, debate as to what's going on in the black community, she'd rather just come on Talk TV, talk with these two guys and, you know, just say, yep, this is just white supremacy. It's always easy to blame white supremacy when you can't, you know, be mature and just sit down and see what's gone wrong in the black community. Why not? Let's just blame white supremacy, you know, because liberals will just follow it anyway. So you might as well just blame white people. And yeah, you know, we're going to probably get backed up and validated by the woke liberal, you know, coalition. So yeah, this is just it. It was not constructive. I don't know where she was trying to go with it. She was just trying to blame white people. She just race baiting, maybe just trying to go viral because she says she's, you know, selling a book. And that's basically it. You know, she had no real concrete argument. You know, when I saw the video, I was like, let me see the argument here. And I just thought it was just, you know, it was just a joke. And maybe she was trying to go viral. Maybe she was just, I don't know what she was trying to do, but that's not the way to address certain things, by race baiting and just using race, which is a sensitive topic in the West, and using it to, you know, further enhance your career or your book or your sales, your revenue, etc. You know, she ought to know better than to do that. But this is the world we're living in. People always capitalize off of what they can, whether it's ethical or not ethical, they'll still do it. So yeah, but anyway, guys, let me know what you think about that. Comment, you know, let me know what you think. Yeah, she's a waffler. She's a waffler. I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Anyway, peace.